This video is intended for viewers aged 13 and up. If you are not 13 yet, please leave. Just minding my own business and all, just kind of screwing around and, ah! Hey, what the heck, man? Why are you pointing a gun at me? Dude, what the heck? Why are you here? What the heck? I'm looking for some bounties. Do you know where they might be? I don't even know what these bounties are. I'm looking for a man who turns into a wasp and a group who turn into a bunch of odd sea creatures. I mean, okay, I don't know what you're talking about. Will you let me go if I help you? Yeah. Okay, fine. I'll help you find them. Just let me go and. What's up with that kid over there? Oh, don't worry. That kid's with me. You wave that thing around the kid? Hello everybody, my name is Kanohii Mineka, and time to cash in on a trend. In order to, for a new toy review that I am doing today, because why the heck not, and you can see I'm pinning on the table, and it's not shaking. I got myself a new tripod. So, in order to celebrate the release of the brand new season of The Mandalorian, I guess, I am bringing back the review for a little bit, for like a day. I'm still doing reviews. I've just had a lot of work going on. So yeah. But yeah. We're doing a brand new review with a nice double feature. With the Star Wars Black Series, The Child, which released earlier, as well as a figure I just got in, like a couple days, like the day that this new season released, the Star Wars Black Series, The Mandalorian, in his Beskar armor, of course. So, this is kind of a twofer for review. I just felt that the child was a bit small to do his own review for, so yeah. And besides, these two, with some extra accessories, are going to be released in a 2-pack, so hey, why not, cashed in on that. So, to start the review off, let's look at the one everybody loves, the child. The painting and the sculpting on this child figure is honestly pretty good for something so small. The torso bit has like no paint on it. It's just kind of that kind of tan plastic. The painting is honestly minimal, but it makes sense. But the paint where it needs to be is done very well, especially primarily it's in the face. It's all in the face. Sadly, there's really no like nail printing on any of the hands or the feet, but it's all in the head. The ears done very well. The face is done very well, like extremely well. If you look at that, that's a great face right there. It's got a little bit of like blush in there, which I think goes a long way to make it look more realistic, I guess. But yeah, very, 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 very simple figure. We're gonna be honest here. His accessories are a bit annoying. He comes with a decent cache of them, which helps to account for the $10 price point for something so small. But they're easy to lose. Specifically, the little ball, which I lost. It's very tiny. It's like not even. It's like I don't even think it's like a centimeter in diameter. But yeah, be careful with it, because when this falls on the ground, it splits open and then the ball goes flying. The other two accessories, though, are a bit easier to find. And speaking of the metal ball, I kind of replace it with just like a metal ball that I found, but it's a bit too big to fit in there. He also comes with his bowl, which I'm going to open this up and risk losing it. He comes with his little bowl. If I can get this out while being careful, sorry. No, screw it, we're going to go like that. Yeah, he comes with a little bowl, which is a tiny little bowl. Nothing really fits in his hands securely, so you just kind of got to balance it in there. And his hands can't move forward enough to do that pose from episode 4 of the show. But it's nice, a nice little addition to have. And then from like a mixture of episode 2 and episode 4, he comes with a frog, which I dropped on the floor. But I almost lost. I panicked there for a second. He comes with a little frog, which has got a little bit of paint. No articulation. It's just a nice little thing to have next to him. So like that, you see? And then he can also kind of balance it in his hand. In terms of articulation, this thing is very minimal. His head is on a ball joint, which allows it to swivel all the way around. Allows it to get up about that far-ish. Allows it to get down about that far-ish. His arms are on ball joints, which allow them to go out about yay far and allows them to swivel all the way around. However, be careful, especially with this arm, because with this arm I found that it's easy to pop off, which is a bit annoying, to be honest. And the hands have a ball joint, which allows them to kind of nudge around and then allows for like a full swivel, which is a nice addition. And then the feet are also on ball joints, which allows them to wiggle around in like basically full circle, go forward and back, and then ankle pivot, which allows them to do a bunch of different kind of like cute little baby walking poses, which is kind of hard to do, kind of hard to show off because of the table being a bit further away than usual. I'm still getting used to this, so that because of a review I'm hoping to do in like a month or two, as soon as something comes in. But yeah, that's the child. We'll get to size comparisons later, but first let's look at the brand new Black Series Beskar Armor Mandalorian. Now this figure is really good. To start off, the painting on the sculpting on this figure is really good, pretty high standard for Hasbro stuff. The Black Series looks to be their primary like design and paint line, you know? Though not having as much articulation is a bit annoying. I'm an articulation guy, but the look of the figure is pretty important too. If you have a amazingly articulated figure that has ugly painting, then you're kind of screwed, mate. Yeah. But the Mandalorian here is a very nicely painted figure. There are a couple of complaints, but we'll get to them as we go more in depth with him. Starting off with the head, it's very well done. This version of the helmet is not removable. However, if you look under the helmet, you can see there's a little bit of like a gray chin, like an unpainted gray chin, which isn't just for this figure. It looks like they're doing that with all of their modern helmeted figures when they're able to, which is honestly a really nice addition. I would kind of like if his helmet was removable, and they're doing a release where his helmet is removable, but this is fine since he rarely... For this character, it's kind of fine since his helmet is rarely removed. It's only been removed like once in the show by IG-11. It looks like it probably won't be removed much after this, since he's on his own a lot. But yeah, the helmet is simple, but it's done very well. This might be a dent, but I think that might have been my fault, if that's not supposed to be there. Yeah, there's kind of minimal painting. I'm pretty sure that this is like a silver plastic. Is it a silver, or is it painted? It might be a painted piece of plastic. If it's painted, then it's done very well. It's very clean. The visor's a bit less clean. My copy has a bit of silver seeping into the black of the visor, but it's fine. It's not that much. It's a Hasbro figure. It's like 20 bucks. If this was like the Mafex one or the Figures one, I'd be a lot more angry. Moving down to the torso, we're going to look at both bits of the torso, but first, let's look at this cape. This is a plastic cape. It's a bit annoying to pose around, I'm going to be honest, because with the way it's specifically posed and with a certain other accessory that is in this set specifically, the cape is only shaped to go this way. In the show, it's kind of supposed to kind of go straight back, but I'm guessing in this preliminary images that he showed it slung over his shoulder. So that's honestly completely fine. The problem comes when you're trying to move it anywhere other than going over this shoulder, which typically wouldn't be an issue, but with a certain accessory it kind of is. It looks kind of awkward and bulky. So if you're posing it try to make sure that it's over this. And I'm going to start with the back, actually, when we're going through the torso. The gun ports into this strap, which has a porthole behind it. That comes to be a bit annoying because this shifts around since it is a separate part that is attached to this belt part. And especially when you move the body up, they become misaligned, thus making porting in the rifle a bit more difficult. So you just gotta fuss with it a bit until this is able to fit. We'll get into that more, into the rifle though, more in the accessories. The back's got portholes for other accessories as well, which we'll get to once we get into the accessories. But once again, very well painted and sculpted. There's a bit of paint bleed on my specific copy, but I feel like that's probably a QC issue that'll depend on what copy you have. Moving on to the front, here we have much more painting, which is good because the front of the figure is the main place you're going to be displaying it, so I like that. The silver on the torso is very well done, minimal paint bleed, and then the little bits of silver on the strap is even better, as I don't see like any paint. There's no noticeable paint bleed, and I'm guessing this was originally made in black, painted silver. But yeah, minimal paint bleed on this or the belt, which I am very happy about. And then these little tones of gray really help the design to go forward. I think that's just very nicely done. My main issue with the arms is the articulation, but we'll get there. First, we have the design. This shoulder pad is kind of made of like a slightly pliable plastic, though it's a bit thicker than something on, say, the Sith Trooper that I have. Yeah, it's a relatively pliable plastic. It works, it's fine. I prefer what Rex did, but I get that not every figure can do that due to their design. On this, each side is different. The hands have so I'm going to start with the hands because they have very similar designs on both sides. They have kind of this, I think it's like a shore trooper? I don't know. This kind of design with this really nice double painted hand. However, I have heard that if you hold the weapons enough, there's paint rub, which is a bit of an issue that I wish that they could fix with probably a more durable paint or something. I don't know. And then this gauntlet is the one where he shoots the flying birds or whatever they're called. The sculpting is very well done on this. I kind of wish there was a dry wash on all of this metal, since this looks to be like a Season 2 Mando, because of something we'll get to on the other arm. But yeah, and then the brown, simple, easy. I like the way that it kind of folds over on itself. The other side, this is either like the string hand or the flamethrower hand, I'm not entirely sure. But once again, the sculpting is done very well, the painting's very nice and clean. I kind of wish there was a paint rub. And then moving on to this shoulder pad, similar style shoulder pad, however, it has his signet, which is very nicely sculpted. I'm very happy with how that turned out. But yeah. Moving on to the legs, he's got kind of these, like, waistcoat bits or something that are nice and pliable. And then on this sides, he has a holster for his blaster accessory, which you're able to open up. Open up the strap, which you can see it pegs on there, and pull out the gun. And it came out of the box slightly bended. I hope to fix that, but we'll get there later. And then to close it back up, you just kind of go like that. And it came out of the box, not in the holster, which is very, very nice. Moving on to the rest of the legs, once again, painting on both sides. Both sides it's an asymmetrical design, so that's very different for me. I'm used to super symmetrical designs, but it works. This is how the design is. I really like how these two are differentiated. I really like the way this is painted here, though it's not as clean as something like the Figuarts or the upcoming Mafex one. It works fine. And then this side, since it's just a nice plain Beskar bit, very nicely clean. Very, very nicely painted, very clean. Moving on to the lower legs, this is probably some of my favorite detailing here, the way that the nice clean way that these are placed. And the straps here are painted minimally, which works. It's fine. This is a Hasbro figure. I don't know what else to expect. However, a more annoying bit is the way that the boot here is a different color from this bit here, even though I'm pretty sure they're supposed to be the same color. That was an issue with the first release, from what I can tell. I don't own that first release, but they haven't fixed it. I kind of wish that for something like the brand new one, they kind of fix it, but I'm not sure if they are, since this one and that one seem to be very similar figures. Now moving on to accessories, with most Black Series figures, he has no hands. no extra hands. I don't know why they don't include extra hands with them. They could really use like some relaxed hands or some fists more than just, oh yeah, give them like grabby hands. But yeah, we'll get to that when we get to it. But for accessories, I'm gonna start with what came with the original Mandalorian. First off, he comes with this very nicely painted like pistol rifle, whatever it is. I don't know the specific Star Wars name, but I think it's very nicely painted. It has that a very nice brighter silver than what is on him. If you compare it to the silver of the Beskar, it's a brighter silver, which works. And he's able to hold it in his hand, in his trigger finger hand, by just kind of plying it in. His hands are very stiff though, so be careful. And also, there are issues with paint rub, where the brown paint of the handle will rub onto the inner hand, which kind of screws it up. But yeah, that's right. I think that problem is amplified by how stiff the hand is. But he's able to hold it as with a typical Hasbro action figure. I'm going to try to show that off here, since I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to show it off with the next gun. It's a bit awkward. So yeah, he's able to hold it like so, as is usual. This isn't the best pose, but yeah. And I don't think I've had any... Oh, okay, I think I saw some paint rub. Oh, that's unfortunate. And secondly, he has his, what some people call the Christmas special rifle. It's his Disintegration / Shocky rifle. I don't know the specific name for it again. Once again, very nicely painted. This bit's been kind of chipped off, but that's fine because he kind of holds it in there. And I kind of like how it adds a bit more of a weathered look to the figure. I like how many different colors there are. Of course, I feel there could be a bit more detail, but it's fine. It works. But yeah, I feel like this could have a good bit more detail. And then as with this one, it fits into the hand, though it's a bit more awkward because of the shaping of the gun. So I haven't really done it too much. And also, as previously explained, it pegs into the back like so. Make sure that the grooves are aligned. And it goes in kind of like this, but you already saw that at the start of the video. And it's a bit of a loose fit. I kind of wish it was a bit tighter of a fit. I don't know, that might just come in because of this, you know? If that makes sense. But yeah, it fits in the back. I like to sling it over the cape, but if you want, you can have it slung under the cape and have it kind of visible like that. But yeah, you can do whatever. Finally, final accessory is an unpainted jetpack, which I've heard people complain about it being unpainted, but honestly, I think it's fine. I kind of wish it came in a silver more akin to this, or even akin to his armor, as it's a dark gunmetal gray, kind of similar to that guy back there. But if you want a review of him next year, let me know. Yeah. The thing about the version in the show is that it also was like completely plain. I kind of wish that it was molded in a brighter gray, as I said, but for it is what it is. It's fine. It was completely plain in the show, so I don't see why people are complaining that much. And in order to port them in, you can see there are 3 ports on the back. As such, you just line everything up, plug it into the backpack, and it works fine. However, I would recommend you either, if you're going to have this on consistently, either remove the cape entirely or get like one of those cloth replacement capes that I've seen going around. I don't have one of those yet. I want to get one. Hopefully, we'll see. Because you see, it kind of makes the cape awkward to pose. It's either going to be really off to the side like that, which makes this bit really awkward, or it's going to be kind of like bunched up like that. So that's why the promotional images have it completely removed. But that's a bit hard because the head basically doesn't come off. It basically doesn't come off. So you'd probably have to get some like hot water and put it in, run it through some hot water, make it a bit more pliable, pop it off, and then remove the cape, put it back on, put the backpack on, and then boom, you know, typical Hasbro stuff. So yeah, the accessories are pretty good for this figure. However, I kind of wish that he came with extra hands. This is just me being entitled with my Power Rangers figures and my Marvel figures, and I'm pretty sure even the G.I. Joe figures, which haven't been able to find at any of my stores yet because they keep selling out. Don't worry, I pre-ordered the con exclusive one. You'll get a review in like summer next year probably. But yeah. Overall, the accessories are very good, except for the lack of hands. That backpack is a bit annoying, and I hate that there's so much paint rub, but it's fine. I'm gonna be honest. Moving on to articulation, from what I've seen for a modern Black Series figure, this is a good bit more than you would usually get on those, primarily because of the knees. So starting off with the head, this is kind of where Black Series has been kind of going off on its own compared to the other toy lines. Though Black Series looks like it's, I mean not Black Series, Marvel Legends looks like it's trying to go for a dumbbell thing. This thing is going for like a double ball joint, where there's a ball joint at the bottom of the neck, there's a ball joint at the top of the neck, allowing it to be very expressive, allowing it to look up about that far, which is okay, down about that far. It's able to do side to side very well, which is very nice to see, and it's able to swivel around as per usual, and this lower joint's able to go around in a circle. Chicken movement, I guess? Yeah, chicken movement. There's chicken movement. Yeah, there's chicken movement. Moving on to the arms. Both arms have the same articulation except for the hands. We'll make that distinction when we get there. The shoulder pad moves out of the way, though it is a bit stiff in order to allow for the arm to move out about like 90 degrees, I think. However, I wouldn't recommend leaving it like this because that could warp the shoulder pad up there and you would have to have it naturally sit back down for like a good bit. There is a bicep swivel, though it's more of like a, the upper arm is pegged in, whatever. And then there's a single jointed elbow, which seems to be what Black Series has been doing, probably for the sake of the look. And it gets about 90 degrees, which I could have liked a bit more, but I don't see myself doing poses past that. And then both hands have a swivel, however, the left hand, which is the hand you're going to be using to grab the bottom of your rifle, goes up and down like so, or like, that kind of movement. And then this hand does the kind of gun up and down hand. Once again, I kind of wish there were more hands, kind of like fists, because he does a lot of punching. He does a lot of punching. He's a character who does a lot of punching. He doesn't just shoot people or use a sword. He does a good bit of fighting on his own. The torso has a ball joint here, which is relatively unhindered, though the swivel side to side is a bit hindered by this bit, by the strap here, which I kind of wish I had a little bit of a better articulate, but it's fine because that's how it's supposed to look, I guess. But yeah, he's able to do all around. He's able to do swivels side to side as much as you would want, and yeah. The crunch isn't as crazy as something like, say, the Power Rangers, but I don't think he does that much crunching in the show anyways. Moving on to the legs, he doesn't have drop-down hips from what I can tell. I only say that because some Marvel Legends and whatnot have been adding drop-down hips, primarily the Spider-Man that I really want but I don't have yet. But yeah, he has typical Hasbro hip, like ball joint universals, where he's able to kick up that far, kick back not super far because there is butt sculpting, and he's able to move out pretty well, though it is a bit hindered by both the way that it's cut as well as this kind of side bit, and both legs do that. Moving lower to the legs, his hip swivel, or thigh swivel, or whatever, is very well hidden by these, as these joints move with these armor plates move with the lower bit of the thigh, thus allowing it to look a lot more natural, because I'm pretty sure that's how it would move anyways in a real person. Unlike most Black Series figures, he comes with a double jointed knee that allows him to kick almost fully backwards, though it's a bit hindered by the sculpting, and this sculpting moves with the middle of the knee, making it look a lot more natural. No boot cut, sadly, but the foot is your typical Hasbro foot, able to move forward and backward, and has a rocker for the sake of good poses. If your figure doesn't have a rocker, get out of here. In the modern era, get the heck out of here. Or, like, your $20 Legends style figure. Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. And now for size comparisons, Mando comes in at about, like, 6¼ inches to the top of the head, and the child comes in at about 1 and a bit inches to the top of the head. And to compare him with other figures, here we have the Amazing Yamaguchi Bleeding Edge Iron Man, the Lightning Collection Beast Morphers Red Ranger, the Marvel Legends series X-Men movie Logan, the Mandalorian himself, the Black Series Darth Revan, who I believe was my previous Black Series review, the Black Series Captain Rex. My previous review in general, the Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure Super Skrull. And finally, here he is with his Best Buy exclusive buddy, the Black Series IG-11, who I'm holding up like this because he doesn't like to stand. So yeah, all in all, I do really like these action figures. Both of them are very good additions to your collection, and this Baby Yoda's articulation may not be as good as that SH Figuarts one, but it still works for your collection. It's a nice $10. And the Mando, he's great. He's a great figure. I really like him. So yeah, definitely try picking both of them up. Maybe even go for that one Target exclusive 2-pack that they revealed. Let me know how that one is, and I'll see if I pick it up. That one comes with the pram for Baby Yoda. But yeah, definitely try to find these if you can, though I feel like the Mandalorian will probably be super hard to find because he's a very popular character from a very popular show. So try to get him as soon as you can. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this review. I've got more reviews in the pipeline, but they will not be soon. They'll be probably in a couple months at the latest. But yeah, expect more reviews from me, though not on a weekly basis, until like the summer again, when I have more free time. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you look forward to future videos that may have been teased with this one's skit. And yeah, I'll see you all in the next review. Bye-bye!